7:14 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Now I want to welcome to microphone number 2 Rick Mines of Nima's Pizza, Ron Smith over at Mike 4. The best pizza in the world. Brag, brag, brag. Right here at Gassville, Arkansas.
Well, not quite the world, but
Oh,
we're trying hard.
brag.
We're trying hard.
When you go to Italy and meet those people, I mean, come on, that's pretty good.
They are the competitors of the competitors.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, how long has Nima's been in business? Seems like it's been here forever and ever and ever.
Prior to us owning it, we've had it for 12 years. It was here for another 6, so it's 18, going on 19 years.
Yeah.
It's been in the community. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, how do you think of different pizzas? I mean, where do you get your ideas?
Oh, for competition. I actually have to say that the idea process really starts with Jane, and she's got a gift that she can think of a food blend and actually taste it without even eating it. And one of the senior judges in Las Vegas asked her that question, if she could taste a recipe before she made it. She said, yeah, and he said, only the good ones can. So we'll start with a piece of the puzzle. We may say, okay, what can we do with pepperoni mushroom? And then we build on it. And from start to finish, a pie that will go into competition, probably 6 months in the tweaking and making and having our customers, when they're in, we give them samples, stuff like that.
So it sounds like, I remember years ago, I mean, a long time ago, I was a little bitty, my grandmother would make a cake, and she'd do it from scratch. And you see her put a pinch of this in, and a pinch of that, and a pinch of whatever else, Didn't have measuring cups, but she knew the approximate amount of each ingredient to put in. Do you write down that I used a quarter teaspoon of salt, or I used a little bit of this, or do you?
Well, we have a master menu book for the store because of the employees, new employees, and they have to sign a non-compete confidential. But that's to give them the guide. And once you're there, because everyone is handmade, if I make a pizza right next to Jane on the counter, it's going to have a difference because she stretches the dough a little different than I do. I may look at the sauce and think, okay, I need a little bit more over here. So there are some minor differences. But when you get to competition, it's very much, we understand that when I grab a pinch, it's a different pinch than the pinch Jane would get. So it does vary that, but that's really kind of an insignificant thing. What we tried to do with this very, very simple food is make it fine dining. And that's just a contradiction in words. But if you can take a filet mignon and cook it, you're already halfway there because the cut of meat is incredible to start with. We're talking about flour, water, oil, salt, sugar. How do you make it great?
Wow.
That's really what we're trying to do with toppings. And of course, we do a lot with olive oils. In competition, in traditional, you're only allowed 2 toppings. So the judges are looking at your dough, your cheese blend, and your sauce first. Now you get 2 toppings. Pepperoni mushroom. Well, what can you do with it? How do you expand on that? Well, we sauteed it in butter-flavored olive oil. And then we put a design on it. Jane brought in design work onto pizza into the competition in 2010. And put a real pretty design on it. But then we put a cheese blend inside of a folded up piece of pepperoni that looks like a tulip, put that in a mushroom cap that was rimmed in hickory flavored sea salt. So when the pizza came out, you have this hint of smoke, and you just have these wonderful flavors. And the judge eats it and goes, nice crust, sauce is good, solid cheese blend. Oh, wait a minute, what's that? And that's in competition, what you have to have. You have to have their palate attention beyond just the basics.
Wow. Well, you're talking cheese blend. Making some notes here. You've got your meats, you've got your dough, you've got your sauce, and now you're talking cheese blends. How many different cheeses do you blend on any particular pizza?
Well, you use your standard mozzarella. We use a low moisture mozzarella. That's your standard cheese. But the one I'm referring to here, we actually came and put together back in 2010. We took a group of hard cheeses like Asiago, Parmesan, Romano, put them all together, and then we wanted a bit of color in it. We added a little Colby. But if you eat a hard cheese, it's got wonderful flavor, but it leaves this dry bite.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all willing to accept that because the flavor's so good. Well, we added a creamy dessert ricotta to that blend, and what it does is it removes the bite and leaves all that flavor in a cream form. So that's one blend that we use. We play with all sorts of them.
Ron?
I was going to comment more about the crust because I know that Rick told me a story one time about a man that came in and ate the pizza, and then when he got through, he says, "Do you have any honey?" Honey? Anyway, he goes, "Yeah, he wanted to dip that crust edges in honey and eat it because
Wow.
the crust is so unique."
That is a true story.
Well, what made you decide to start competing on? You've been in Vegas, you've been in Italy, and probably some other places. Tell us about competing,
Well,
national, international.
initially, the people that run the competition in Vegas were down here fishing like so many other people. Came in, got pizza. We served them pizza, did our job. They left. And I don't even know whether it was weeks or months later, but I got a phone call, and they said, "This is who we are. We operate this, and we think your pizza's good enough to compete." I said, tapped on the phone a little bit and said, "Excuse me, but you are calling Gassville, Arkansas." "I'm sorry, but..." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how did you get it?" "Well, we were in, and when we're out traveling around, we go to every pizza place we can." I said, "Okay, well, where is this?" "Las Vegas." "I'll take a free trip to Vegas." No, it's not free. You have to pay." I said, "What kind of invitation is that?"
Yeah.
You know? I said, "Well, consider that we only invite 140 people. It's a pretty good invitation." And I thought, wow, 140 of the best pizza people I'm being asked to join.
In the nation.
And I can go there and learn what those people are doing. Count me in. And that's how it got started. Now,
Where was it at in Vegas?
right at the convention center. It's the only place big enough because they have like 9 ovens and there's gas ovens hooked. It's really a difficult show to put together as far as competition goes because you've got everybody wanting different ovens. Some want electrics, wood-fired, gas.
So there's something else. A brick oven, fire, a gas oven, electric. What's your preference?
We use gas brick oven, and our oven is lined top and bottom with bricks to maintain the heat. More so at an even level, so when you go into it, you can use a laser temp, and you'll temp in 6 different places, and there'll be 6 different temperatures. It's not like you put it on a conveyor and it spits out the other side. If you come into the store, particularly on a real busy night, you can watch how we're doing all this moving of pizzas, and people are wondering why. Well, it's you put it in, you want your initial bake that crisps the crust, and then you want to move it maybe to a temperature a little lower to get a thorough bake through it. So you're constantly moving them all around in the oven. And the door's open. If you don't have the whole thing brick lined, you're going to lose too much heat, and then a 10-minute pizza bake becomes 15, and we couldn't possibly lose 5 minutes of extra pizza time on a Friday, Saturday night. We would just be in trouble.
So, whoever thought that this much goes into a pizza, Ron?
Well, I'll tell you, I've made pizza myself at home and cooked them on my big green egg. It doesn't compare. Mine's edible, but Rick's is delectable.
Oh, unbelievable pizza at Nima's.
The problem people have at home with pizza is the flour. They're going to go and get like an all-purpose flour or whatever. We use a high gluten flour, which that's standard in the pizza, and then the difference of the percentage of protein is what rates the amount of gluten, and we use it. That's what gives it the stretch. So you're at a bit of a disadvantage at home right away because you don't truly have a quote pizza dough that you're going to understand how much gluten is in it, so you can work it and you know how to. If you overwork it, it's just like bread. If you keep kneading the bread comes out awful.
Huh.
Pizza dough is the same way. It's very forgiving, but we'll get to a point where it's over risen and it's mushy and all that. Making dough, like you go, here's XYZ goes into the dough, and I'm going to give it to you. Here's your mixer, go. Here's the ingredients. You make the dough. Every single day, it changes based on the humidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
That changes our dough. So you can't walk away from it. You have to do it. Oh, wait a minute. I need to adjust with a little bit more moisture in it, or make some other adjustment to it to get the texture. And we tell our staff, you're making dough, that's all you're doing. I don't care what else goes on in this store. You do not leave the mixer. You have to watch it. It's the way it forms a knot at the top that tells you how much moisture is in the dough. And that. A lot goes into it, like you say.
Amazing.
Well, one other thing about pizza, some pizzas turn me off because the sauce, the red sauce, is just tart, or that's what you're getting.
Heartburn.
Is a sauce pizza. Anyway, I want to taste the ingredients. The sausage, the mushrooms, the onions. Anyway, and I want mine hot when I eat it. And by golly,
You want the sauce hot?
I want the
Temperature.
pizza hot, but I don't want an overpowering sauce.
What's the winning sauce? I mean, what's going to appeal to me? What sells your pizza? The sauce thing. I mean,
Okay. There's a number of questions if you ask there, but in order for us to compete for as long as we have been the most winning pizza team. That for us, although we haven't won the big prize called the World Championship, but for 6 years we have won our region year in, year out, which means we put a consistent pizza, i.e. sauce, dough, in front of those judges. And for 6 years in a row, that's next to impossible. So that said, the sauce of it, if so many people get heartburn when they eat pizza, and they'll always attribute it back to the sauce. So you have to find something that takes that away. The other thing that happens in commercial, they want this nice aroma, so when the pizza comes out, they'll sprinkle it with oregano. If oregano is not baked, it'll give you heartburn.
really?
Great flavor, great smell. Oh, I love this. And now you go away with this. And that's usually coming out of the sauce itself. And we cut our sauce with a little bit of sugar. And in doing that, we get so many people saying, I don't get heartburn with your sauce. I said, well, there's a reason that we've been tweaking the sauce recipe and the dough recipe, all along for 12 years.
Interesting. I'm sitting here listening to Rick talk, and I'm thinking, who can come up with so much in making a pizza? I mean, to me, it's just roll out the dough and put something on it and cook it.
Simple food.
Simple food.
Made great.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do, day in, day out.
Well, the reason Nima's Pizza is so good is because not only do they do all these ingredients, they put their hearts into it. They know what's good.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, and
Well, I remember when Rusty Humphreys came into town a couple of years
Yes,
Oh,
back.
yes. We had him over to the store.
Went down there, and you did something at that time. It was something with sliced tomato or something. I forget.
Oh, he got a ham and pineapple was what
Is that
he
what it
got.
was?
Yeah, I remember because I didn't have any slices for him. So I said, well, give me a minute and I'll throw together a pizza. And he was on a pretty tight schedule with
Yeah.
you guys. So we quickly made him a pizza and threw it together. And he enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, we're about ready to go to break, but when we come back, we want to talk about, we talked a little bit about in Vegas, talked about the competition in Vegas, and then we want to talk about you're getting ready to go to Italy as well.
Yep, next Thursday.
And so we want to talk about that when we come back. And see if I've got a quick PSA. Yes, I do. It's the 20, this is Friday. Oh, this Friday. Sky Meadow Art Spring Concert, Friday, May 15th, 2015, 6 p.m. at Dunbar. This is a string orchestra put together by students. They were in Marion County not too long ago at the Republican dinner. Their concert this Friday night at 6 o'clock at Dunbar. These kids are phenomenal. I invite you to come out to Dunbar at 6 o'clock. Time for the news break. We'll be back with Rick from Nima's Pizza right after the news. $7:35 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. More with Rick Mines of Nima's Pizza. Talk a little bit about competing in Las Vegas, and then let's talk about the upcoming competition in Italy. What happens if the ingredients don't arrive?
Oh, welcome to 2014 Parma, Italy, when the airlines lose everything. Yep, that's what happened last year. So, first, it was interesting because they disqualified us, and justifiably so, because we didn't have anything to make any pizza. But the people running the U.S. pizza team went, and actually it was Linda, the Baxter Bulletin, her article, we took a copy of it, and Linda Green, the gal from the magazine running it, took it to them and said, this is what has been written in the local paper about these folks. They have to answer to their customers and everybody that read this. You cannot disqualify them. First time in 23 years they let us back, a team back in. So we had to go shopping in Italy. So off we went, and I do not know the language, so I pointed and said, I'll take that. Long story short, finished 63rd in Classico out of 349 people, and to this day, I do not know what I put on that pizza.
Or how much you spent for it, right?
Right, and this year, all our product is being shipped by our food purveyor directly to Italy. We're not carrying it on the airline. He's got a refrigeration unit, a frozen unit, and a dry unit, all going overnight to Italy for us. So that's just going to be amazing. But
What part of Italy is it?
it's in Parma, which is from Milan is where we fly into, and it's kind of south and west by a couple hours by bus. But this year, the only caveat is the World's Fair this year is in Milan at the same time.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So security should be interesting, but we'll get in and the team bus will take us and whiz us out of there.
You fly out of New York? How do you go over?
Yeah. We leave Little Rock at 7:15 in the morning, Atlanta, New York to Milan. So we get in on Saturday. So we're doing the airplane thing for almost 24 hours by the time we get there.
Wow. What's Italy like? Is it a pretty country?
It is. Where Parma is the bread basket. It's really the food.
While you're talking, I'm on Google. It's Parma.
Parma. Parma. And it is. We were there in April of last year, and we actually had a dinner at a castle built in 1404. And it's up on this hill. And you can look over this magnificent patchwork of different shades of green, like a quilt, because the fields were just coming on in Italy, and that. It just beautiful.
And these buildings, they look like they're rather old.
Yes.
And the architecture looks beautiful.
Yeah. Interesting thing, when we were driving on the bus, we'd look at an old, call it an old barn on a farm. They tear nothing down. The roofs are caved in. And I mean, they might have been built, gosh knows when, but, you know, the 16th century probably.
Really? That's,
The roof's collapsed in. They don't touch the building. It just stays there. And it's everywhere you see in the farms. It's real pretty.
amazing.
When I was there, you had wine with every meal too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Sure. Same way in France.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I have the same way in France.
Yeah. Wine is just
It's like
a
water.
common drink, and
Yep.
whether you're a child or whether you're an adult, because wine enhances the flavor in the digestive system.
Yeah,
So,
it's good for
and I don't know anything about wine, but if you had can you drink wine with pizza? I mean, what would you choose, a red or a white?
You are talking to absolutely the wrong wine person.
Me too.
But when we're there, yes, they do. I mean, red wine goes with meat, white wine goes with fish. That's about the extent of
That's
my
about-
wine
yeah.
knowledge. And, dry wine, I don't know. They enjoy it. And I think, too, their water system, like we've got incredible water systems available to us in our homes and that. And it's not in Europe. It wasn't there, and I suspect culturally that's how wine really took hold. And it's, if we're going to sit down here and drink a bottle of wine, that's like Ron says, it's not like that. The kids will have a bit of wine at dinner, and it's part of their culture, and it's to sip on and enjoy with the meal, not to make yourself pie-eyed.
But most of Italy is actually very gorgeous.
Oh, it is.
And I was in the service at the time. We took a tour, and I remember the bus stopped, and we were at an outdoor dinner. And with the whole roast lamb laying there with its feet sticking in the air, and I can't tell you what they had for side dishes. I don't even know. Anyway, but everybody had wine. But imagine this, if I were going to have a wine with most of my pizzas, and I usually like sausage, mushroom, and onion. And, well, I think I would pick a dry red, like a Burgundy or a Chianti. Anyway, that would be my choice.
We have a wine expert with
No,
us
we
this
do.
morning.
There
We
you
didn't
go.
know that.
You need to take him to Italy with it.
I may take him.
No. I don't fly anymore, no.
Do you have any secret ingredients?
I'd have to take you out and shoot you.
He has a secret ingredient that he can say. He's got passion.
That is for sure. We are very passionate about it. And in fairness to your question, we do have,
And I wouldn't want you to divulge them.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. When people say, what do you put in it? We tell them. Because you don't know the proportions. It's like I was describing earlier. Hickory flavored sea salt. You could definitely class that as a secret ingredient. Okay, go find it.
And see, I've never
Go
heard
buy
of
it.
I've
No.
never even heard
I mean,
of hickory
when
flavored
we're
sea salt.
out anywhere, we're looking at stores and stuff from a completely different standpoint than you might go shopping. We're looking, okay, because it's always in the back of your mind. What can you do different?
Yeah.
We'll pick up something. We were on vacation, and we stopped at Joe Patty's seafood place in Pensacola. And Jane found some incredible spices that she wanted to try. And I looked at it and said, yeah, sure, hon, go for it. What is it? But again, her palate is already kicking in. Comes from this and that. So that there is, quote, secret ingredients that go into it. But, if I tell you how to make the dough, our secret recipe, you probably are not going to produce the dough we produce. Just the nature of having to watch it. Yeah.
So how does it feel knowing that every time you put the key in the door in the morning to go in to think, wow, I can't believe this has really happened to me. I came in, I started making pizza. I got invited to the pizza challenge. I'm going to Italy now again and again and again. And how many awards have you won in the last several years? I know we just made a new ad that talks about it. And how many awards have been won?
We have a small dining room, and we have all the awards up. We seat 32 people, and people want us to make a bigger one, but we have no more room on the walls for articles, awards. In fact, I have it framed, but last year's pieces on Italy aren't up on the wall. But as far as, I don't know, somebody is looking after us. And we are so absolutely blessed in terms of what this business has become in a small town of in Gassville, Arkansas. Give me a break. Population 1,800. It's just amazing. The people that travel, after we were featured on NBC TV in 2010 out of KY3, they came down, they filmed for an hour and a half. They dubbed Jane the pizza artisan. And I asked Sarah, I said, well, what is this going to, where's it going to show? She said, oh, it's going to be a little local interest spot on the news, probably Thursday. But be ready, you'll probably be busy. They ran a 4-minute spot, and they ran it 8 times that day. And we just,
Did the network pick up on it?
When you say that, what you mean?
NBC,
Beyond that?
Sometimes NBC will
Yeah.
pick up on a local like that.
I'm not sure.
Huh.
We were so busy that weekend we didn't have time to change socks. I mean, literally. It was just... And then she called me in October. And she said, I just want to let you know that our website is down. And I said, okay. Why are you calling me? She said, you need to understand. You're still the number one, 6 months later. You're still the number one pick on our website. Most viewed.
Sarah
site.
told you that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we get people that'll come in, like just was last week. Oh, we finally got here. I just saw you on TV. That was 4 years ago. Well, we've been trying to get in. And when 30% of your business comes from outside of your market area.
That's amazing.
Travel. Every
so you
week,
get it
every
from
2 weeks.
Springfield, Branson, Joplin.
Everywhere. They just, and the one request is, would you open Sunday so we can take a Sunday drive? And if I was to open Sunday, my staff would just kill me because they got to rest. We have got incredible staff. I mean, just incredible. We need to add to that staff, and we're looking for a couple of really good key people that like the food industry and want to be as passionate about it as we do. We're needing some people right now to add to it.
I'll give an amen to the fantastic staff. They've
Really? Yeah.
they're wonderful.
Well, folks, if you want the best pizza, I'm going to say it, Rick, the best pizza in the world. I'm going to brag a little bit right here.
USA
again.
officially.
All right,
USA
USA
we're going to
officially.
try to get that world title.
Beat the Italians. Come on.
Yes, that might be a little political over there for America to beat the Italians, but we're going to give it our best shot.
It's kind of like Russia. No, it would be, who was it we played in hockey in 1981? Was that Russia or was that Czechoslovakia?
Russia.
Russia, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
believe in miracles?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Darn straight.
You guys can
If
be-
you want it bad enough, you can do it, especially in sports. You see it time and time again that the most star-filled team doesn't win because the team that didn't quite had to work harder at it.
Look at Kansas City.
Yeah, every time you see it.
Look at Kansas City. Compare Kansas City Royals to California Angels.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost Albert Pujols at St. Louis because he wanted $250 million for 10 years. They're barely batting their hat size out there.
Yeah.
You know, and Kansas City, who at one time you could buy a dugout box ticket for $15, went to the World Series.
Yeah.
What gets me is, no, I'm not going to use the word pizza, but you get people saying, we're the best in the Twin Lakes area. Well, what do? Exclude the people that win international competitions? What are they comparing to? They're the best compared to what? What do? Buy this title, best in the Twin Lakes area?
I'll tell you what, Rick, they work for it.
Yeah, you do.
You work for
especially competing at this level, and we want to provide the absolute best meal experience of a simple food to our customers day in, day out. I was telling you off mic, 9 o'clock at night is a wonderful time because we're closed and your adrenaline's slowing down. But the only thing I'd like to do at 9 o'clock at night is to get home, get into bed because I can get up sooner and get back in the next day to make some more pizza and just be with our customers and have a blast every day. It never changes.
You enjoy every minute of it, don't you?
Every minute. Every
That's
second.
amazing. That's amazing.
If you don't like and love what you do, don't do it.
Folks, you hungry yet? Head out to Nima's Pizza as soon as they open and start ordering some pizzas. We need to take a quick break. We'll close out with Rick right after this. 7:52. Hope we got everybody hungry because Nima's in Gassville opens at 11 o'clock today, and run out there and order a pizza.
Monday through Saturday from 11 to 9. And we do a lot of pizza by the slice. So if you really want to find out, you're not sure what, you really want to try, pick 6 slices
Yeah?
and make a large pizza. Take a whole different pizza.
Wow, that's a
You
good
can do that.
concept. Wow.
Yeah. So we have it up for lunch, so you can have a slice of pizza and a soda and that. You can get we have a 20-ounce soda and a slice of pizza, and you're talking $5 for lunch, and the slice of pizza is big.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
That comes out of New York from folding pizza. The New Yorkers fold their pizza.
Uh-huh.
And quick story, Jane was sitting there one day, folded her pizza. I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm eating pizza. I She says, it's better folded, she says. I said, get out of it. So off she went. I waited till she was out of sight, got
And
a
you did
piece
it.
of pizza, and I folded it. And then it hit me why they do it. If you fold it, your palate is only touching bread.
Uh-huh.
You bite through it, and all of a sudden the flavor comes out from between the bread and just hits your mouth like a ton of bricks of all this flavor. Those New Yorkers, that's probably why they're pretty good at this job of pizza. They know how to eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. You know, before I started doing radio, we'd go down to the square for one of the parades.
Oh, yeah.
Rick,
Parade night.
You all don't do a deep dish now either, do
We
you?
sure do. We do a free-form deep dish. We do thin crust. We do our New York style crust.
Okay, see?
But we don't do it in a dish, which is really allows the crust to bake differently.
Now, what we used to do for the parades, though, before I started doing radio, we'd go down to Nima's. Let's go down and get pizza first, set out on the square somewhere, and have pizza.
They would actually, when we were down on the square, they took their chairs, get their spot in the parade, run over and get their slices, and then make sure they could get back to their spot on the parade. We miss being in Mountain Home, but Jane and I wanted to spend more time working together and competing, and we were having a staffing problem. We couldn't get the staff that we needed in Mountain Home, so we just said, you know, I hate to say it, we're getting older and slowing down a bit, but we are, and we just wanted, if you can do it right in one location and do it the best you can, we opted for that.
But folks, it only takes about 9 minutes from downtown Mountain Home to Nima's Pizza from here.
This is funny because, you know, pizza, come on over for a slice. Well, all the way to Gassville, people that have driven from Mountain Home for a slice, they've come up to us after and said, you know, it took me 8 minutes to get here. I actually sat down, had my lunch for 25 minutes and drove back. I actually stopped instead of grabbing it and taking it back to my desk. So they actually had a better lunch by coming and taking a little bit of time, driving over to Gassville.
It'd probably take you that long to go from here to one of the restaurants just beyond Cardinal Drive with all the stoplights and traffic.
Probably.
Yeah, be
But,
faster just to go out to Gassville.
It's worth the drive.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's
No
worth
doubt.
the drive.
It is. About 40 seconds to close this out. Rick Mines at Nima's Pizza, award-winning pizza. I'm going to say it right off, folks. The best pizza in the world is right here in Gassville, Arkansas. And if you don't believe me, go out to Nima's. Try to prove me wrong because you're not going to do it because it's outstanding pizza.
And I just want to say that one thing anyway. I wish them both the best of luck when they go to Italy
You
here
bet.
this month.
Yeah.
We are going to need a lot of luck and a lot of good pizza. Well, I appreciate you guys inviting me here this morning and waking me up at the ungodly time of 5 o'clock in the morning. See, restaurant people work at different times, but as I was telling you, there's a bunch of yellow school buses running around at this hour of the morning. I never see them going in at 10 a.m. We are there from 11 a.m. Come on down, visit it. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Clark Ridge Volunteer Fire Department holding bacon craft sale, yard sale Saturday, May 30th from 8 until 3. For more information, you can reserve a table for $5 at 508-4847. We'll be back tomorrow. Good luck to Rick Mines of Nima's Pizza in Italy. We'll see you tomorrow.